What's up, everybody, and thanks for joining the party on the Dirty Rotten Casuals, where this week we're going to be talking about that Suicide Squad video game gameplay leak. We're going to be talking about what we're currently playing, what we're going to be playing, and then we're going to be talking about F1 2022 and why that is pretty cheap on Steam right now. Whew. Anyways, let's get it. Once again, thank you for joining the Dirty Rotten Casuals, where we're talking about gaming, we're talking about everything, we're talking about it all, because each week I'm joined by my homeboy, the Irishman, aka Brian. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going?
It's going all right. I singed the hair on my right arm this morning making blueberry pancakes. So yeah. It was blueberry pancakes and burnt hair, which was a great combo of smells. Awesome. So yeah, but I was making the protein pancakes,
Gross.
which is why I'm wearing the stringer. I'm gonna go to the gym after this. So
Nice.
But yeah, that gas stove, man, you don't realize how like hot it is until you because I reached my arm over and then pulled it back, and I was like, that was really hot. And I looked at my arm, just a bunch of singed like hairs, and it kind of went off to the side and like rubbed off all the burnt dead hair. So, yes, I'm currently slightly less hairy on my right arm than I am on my left. So,
oof, yeah, man, that's so. Yeah, at least you're not in the hospital. That's one thing you can always be grateful of whenever you do have a kitchen mistake is, did it send you to the hospital or not? Do you have your fingertips or not? Like that's always the question when it comes to like an accident in the kitchen. Anything else, you'd be all right. That's
fine. I'm gonna be like Steve-O showing off my burns and have all the comments been like, "Oh my God, you need to go to the hospital. You're gonna die."
Yeah, man, he's on something else, like literally nothing now. But yeah, he's
doing very well. I am very proud of him, but he's still hurting himself a lot.
Oof, I can't imagine, man. Like even that. Did you watch the most recent Jackass movie?
No, number 4. No, I didn't watch it. I heard that was kind of like that was where they were showing their age because they were just getting like actually hurt.
Oh yeah, right? It was great, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's like
too, right? Like Tyler the Creator and
well, there's like a couple of big cameos, but what's his name? I forgot the kid's name, but he was from Loiter Squad and all that kind of stuff. He was in it, and Jasper. But there's like a lot of new blood, and then you got the old blood. So it's really funny because like the young kids are like, "Yeah, I'll do it again," and the old guys are like, "Please go. I'm not doing this shit this time."
I remember watching, maybe it was the third one where, because they always said like, who's the craziest? And they're like, oh, Johnny, because he comes up with the wildest ideas. Like they did a breakdown of like medical bills, and his are like by far.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was gonna be Steve-O, and they were like, no, Johnny, because he's the one that comes up with the craziest shit, the shit that has everybody else going, no, I'm not doing that, but he'll do it. Man. And he was the one that I remember, like, it was the only one that I saw that I can vividly remember where it was that Claymore mine full of like rubber pellets, and like they hit it and it went off, and everybody was just, fuck that. And they just like walked out, and Johnny was like going behind him, like, no, it's just loud, man. It's just like, but like, then I remember it was 2 of them. And Johnny was the only one that didn't drop, but I noticed he was the only one that put his hands in front of his balls. So I'm sure the other 2 caught one to the testicle, and like that's what dropped him or something. But like he's also just the toughest. He just just like hopped up and down. And
the thing about Johnny is like he's the one that can take probably the most pain, but he's also the first one to be like, I'll do it. And he's also the first person to be like, nah, you can do it again. Yeah, come on, man, you could do it. And I was listening to someone actually, like some critics actually talk about the Jackass series, and they're saying if you really go back and watch it, they're using a lot of like positive language and like good reinforcement and like all of this like non-toxic masculinity. Like it's really interesting if you go back and look at it, because
there's
there's
a lot of
so
like, you got it, man. Like,
yeah,
it's really funny how like they're they're just like these like wild like people, but they're also just very like kind-hearted.
yep, to
And that's why
where
it was so like crazy. Like when I remember watching Steve-O when he was like in the like pit of his addiction, and then watching the documentary that they made afterwards, and
yeah,
like how his bodyguard was like, man, I'm from the hood. I thought I'd seen everything, but he would just get like boxes delivered, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
I don't know what ketamine is. What the fuck? And he'd just have like cans of nitrous oxide, just like hit him, and I was like, oh man.
oh
But
yeah,
like now he's sober and he has a podcast, and he's like, they're like super nice. Like they're the kind
oh
of
yeah.
guys that
Well,
you would like hang out with at a dive bar. Maybe not like on set because you're like, I'm gonna die.
yeah, yeah.
But like if you saw them at like a dive bar, you'd be like, hey, what's up? And they'd be super chill.
Oh, they're super. They seem like super cool dudes, and that's why you see, like, you know, Bam's not the best skateboarder, and neither is Johnny. But I'm sure both of them were in Tony Hawk Pro Skater and in multiple of those games. You know, they had to have had. I think Johnny did do a cameo in one of them, but I can't remember which
Bam
one.
was in like a bunch of them.
Yeah,
like,
Bam was in most of them.
And I think he's even like I saw something on social that him and Steve-O were on a plane, and I think like he's getting sober now too because he's been having the drinking problem ever since Ryan Dunn passed away. He's been struggling with that, but like hopefully he gets better, man, because like he was starting to get it together, and then like he relapsed, and like
I think he is. I think he is. I think he's back to skating. So hopefully, hopefully we'll see him pop up in the, what is it, the elusive Skate 4, wherever that is.
Oh man. Yeah, they had that like they released it as like the pre alpha gameplay, and like it looked cool because they just like mentioned how there's going to be a lot of creator stuff. So like if it's anything like creator modes that we've gotten in other games, like that alone is going to make it awesome. But you know, we'll see. It's still way too early to tell. You know, nowadays it's like you got to wait until the game's almost released to see like the real details. Like that's why when I watch the Diablo 4 alpha footage, I'm like, it looks good, but I'm gonna wait until like this thing is going to have to be about to come out before I'm gonna pass any like maybe I will, maybe I won't. And actually, I don't even buy games anymore until after they've come out. I got burned with Cyberpunk, and I was like,
no. I don't think it's necessary to do that, especially with games. Like, look at me, man. I have waited literally 3 years to even like start Last of Us, like especially because I didn't have a PlayStation until recently, but I didn't look at the trailers, I didn't look at any of the gameplay footage. I was just like, I'm going to avoid it until I can play it. I did that with Spider-Man, and I did it with this, and honestly, I'm glad, because some of the imagery, some of the a lot of the story is all a surprise. There's a lot to it, and it's on a level that I've never played a video game like this before, and to the point where it feels like a movie. Like Mai is sitting there watching it with me, and we're just like, last night I straight up put the controller down, and I was just watching it go through, and Mai was like, "Are you playing?" And I lifted my hands, was like, "No, controller's on the couch. I'm just watching this game right now." It's so good, and well directed, well acted, and it really gets you thinking about like what video games could be if they really figured out this balance between cinematics and actual gameplay.
Right. Well, I know that like especially with the games like the Uncharted series, there was that kind of big push for like cinematics, but then it was like so far in that direction where people are like, this is like real actually light on gameplay. Like that was the whole like quick time event era where you're like, you thought you were watching a cinematic, but then the X button pops up, you're like, oh fuck, and like
I'm glad they don't do that in Last of Us.
One or the other. Let's do one where I set it down and I'm watching,
Yep.
or it's just like straight up gameplay. Because and I feel like I haven't played The Last of Us, but I've seen like on like TikTok and shit, like people playing it and then watching the cinematics and reacting to it, and it looks like a good combination of like really solid gameplay and good like cinematic storytelling, which is like I mean the show is doing really well on HBO, and I
Yeah.
feel like it's kind of it's kind of perfect for that sort of adaptation, because it is like the game itself is so
it's very episodic. Yeah,
very.
story driven and episodic, because it's like they've tried to do this before with stuff, obviously, with all of your Resident Evils and all of these different games, but it seems like this one, I'm hoping that this game inspires production companies, these giant production companies, to look at video game properties, comic book properties, all of these things, and just go, why don't we just do 1-to-1? People loved it. The only thing that they complained about is this one part of the story. We'll change that, but everything else, let's keep pretty 1-to-1 and just kind of give it a good budget and the money it needs. Because I can't think of another video game property that has been transitioned to screen that has been this well received. I can't think of another one.
Right. Well, it's the video game curse, man. Like for the longest, like basically any video game movies have sucked.
Yeah.
The Super Mario movie is coming out, but that like that's just we'll see how that goes. But like it's obviously not like just like a 1-to-1 or like
no.
And they were like, "Fuck it, why are we doing live action? Let's just make it an animated movie," which is a good choice.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like it is kind of known that video game adaptations have been trash. But I think that's because like for the longest, like video games weren't really taken seriously like by Hollywood, but now that it is a bigger money maker than the film industry, like they're kind of like, okay, we gotta like get in on
why
this
is this successful?
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
Why is this successful? Like, but it's like I told no coworker that I said video games are such a good medium for story that you can't achieve with film, and even in a lot of ways in shows, because it's such a long and interactive like medium that it is like there has to be a specific style of storytelling that you can't really like translate. You could barely translate it into film. I think you can translate it into shows. The Witcher actually was like a decent adaptation. That one's based on the books, not even the games, but it's all like long form. So
I guess that's true. I didn't even think about the fact that that the book series is what that show is based off of, and that's another.
All the games apparently take place after the series of books.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. I like played The Witcher 3 a little bit, and it became a little too like overwhelming for me, just because it's so detailed, and that's kind of what it's known for. Is like every little side story has like their own characters and dialogue and shit. And when you look at like the size of the world and like the depth of it, I was just like, man, I cannot do this one. Like I already kind of beat Skyrim a bunch, so like
that's
too much for me.
Too deep to dive in there. And like that's, you know me, man, that's why I keep certain games. I like certain styles of games. That's why Last of Us has really kind of locked me in. And like I told you, I think I told you last time, I bumped down the difficulty just a little bit, just because I was like, I want to get through the story. I want to play the game. I don't want to be stressed out. Like this isn't what I'm doing it for. Trying to keep it casual. You know what I'm saying? So that was it's been like a really cool experience. I think I'm getting closer to like the end of the game. I probably still have a good ways to go, but I'm getting closer to the end of the game, and I'm excited to finish it, but I'm also like, I don't want to finish it because I know I'm going to want to jump into that next one, into part 2. But I'm going to have to wait a while because it's an intense game. If you're not dropping zombies, you're dropping people, and it's like you really have to take your time and go slow, because if you don't, you will run out of ammo very fast. So imagine Resident Evil rules, but there are people also running up on you trying to kill you. And
I've seen the gameplay, man. It looks super intense.
Yeah.
So, well, and it's also like that. It's like this is part one, and there's part two. It's like contained stories. It's not like, I think people have gotten really sick of the live service model where they have to just like devote so much time. Where single player games, as much as the industry leaders were trying to say like, oh, like those are done, multiplayer is where it's at. And now we got a bunch of like live service games that are just meant to be played forever, which is like, there are certain shooters that you could just play whenever. We play Rocket League whenever, but it's because they're simple enough games, and it's just like they have a good enough gameplay element and a decent loop and progression system. Whereas like, I think a lot of what comes out now, people are getting sick of, is just like constant like grind. Which
I'm not trying to do that. I like, we've definitely discussed all those games in the past. But what's that
keep
new
popping
one?
Up though.
Oh, of course they do. They're going to keep popping up.
We got a look at the Suicide Squad gameplay recently.
Yeah.
It is like ratioed, is like at best half and half likes and dislikes. At worst, I think like 75% dislikes on the trailers and shit. It just kind of looks to me like a standard looter shooter co-op. It looks kind of Fortnite-esque. It looks a little a few elements of the Arkham series, but it just kind of looks meh at best. And people have not been reacting to it well, and it also looks microtransaction to hell as well. So very much a live service game.
Yeah, and like I think my issue with the leaks a lot of the time is, I think as a pop culture, everybody, and as a culture in general, I think everybody just kind of needs to chill out on getting a first look or diving into something before it comes out, because there have been multiple times recently to where people have been like, that looks terrible. And it's like, well, it's also like a year before the game comes out, or even the movie. Cause that happened with, Spider-Man Homecoming. There's this whole, everybody was freaking out because his suit didn't look detailed. It looked kind of cloudy, and everybody's like, oh, this trailer looks stupid. His suit doesn't look right. And
bro, that happened with Star Wars. Did you know that? Like,
I'm sure it did.
Was sitting in the theater when the Star Wars trailer came on, and people were like chuckling, and somebody was like, oh, we're gonna see that in like the bin, and then it became like literally the biggest movie of all time. Biggest franchise, period.
A lot of it had to do with sound design too. If you look up the original trailer, the sound for it was really, really bad. They didn't have the John Williams score. They didn't have a lot of the trademark like the laser noises, the ships. They didn't have any of that stuff. They just had to put it together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all the stuff that they had visually finished, they did it, but the movie hadn't been mixed yet. So it sounded like a cheap sci-fi movie, even though it was Star Wars. So it threw the entire thing off, man. You got to check it out if you haven't seen it. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah, everybody, like maybe I'll try and pull it up because it is somewhat relevant, because like that's the whole thing about production, is that people don't understand how long this stuff takes. But on the other hand, microtransactions are a bad deal, period. I don't want them.
In a full price game, there should be no microtransactions, and that's what a lot of the people in the gameplay reacted to, is because there's like unlockable equipment and unlockable outfits, and like they have like little stat increases. And then somebody was like, "Hey, Travis, I want to ask you, guess how many in-game currencies there are?"
Ooh, what? 2?
No, not even close.
What? Why would there be more than that?
Why do you think there would be more than that? Why do you think, Travis? I want to hear your answer.
I wonder if they're going to make people pay for tiers of currency, kind of like how Rocket League does, to where they give you some currency that does nothing, but then other currency that buys you more things.
Yes, and the answer is 6. There are 6 in-game currencies.
Wow.
6 different in-game currencies, which I'm sure this currency unlocks more of that currency, which unlocks more of the next currency, or something like that. I don't know. They're going to give you like a bunch of useless currencies and then some currencies that aren't as useless but still aren't the best, and then the best one's going to cost the most money. That's what I'm guessing is going to happen. It's there should never be more, even in like a microtransaction riddled game, which should not be in a full price game. It should never be more than 2 currencies ever.
Wait, is this a full price game?
I'm pretty sure this is a full price game. Like this is, and it's close to release. That's the thing. It's not like very far away. It's like upcoming. It's coming out pretty soon. But like, yeah, man. And honestly, that's kind of why I just saw something, little explanation about Diablo 4, and it's like, oh, like you have like this that needs to unlock that, and then these unlock this, and it's like I'm like, oh, I bet this is going to be like a multi-currency situation, and it's just like I bet they're going to make it grindy. I bet they are. I'm not getting excited for it.
Oh no!
I bet it's going to be a slog. If you guys didn't learn anything from Diablo Immortal, this game is going to be fucking frustrating as hell to play.
Wow. Yeah, I'm really not I like those games, like the ones where you have to have a squad of people, you have to have all these loadouts, you have to have these costumes. If you don't, you're just kind of playing with like a regular shitty character. Like I just kind of stopped playing those games. And we've talked about it before, but that's why I'm enjoying a lot of these new racing games that I'm getting into. Because like a lot of them have been out a long time, and if they haven't been out a long time, people have at least been playing them, and at least giving reviews and telling you how to make the game play better and all of that kind of stuff. Which is why it's weird that F1 2022 isn't doing so hot, because I'm pretty sure
that got announced for Game Pass, and you said that's the one that is not doing well.
No, it is not doing well. It's been poorly reviewed. Most people are very upset with the physics of the game. It's very buggy. And honestly, you know, with racing games, especially simulators, there's a lot of everything has to do with the physics. It's all physics.
Yeah, physics,
sound,
have to be on point.
Yeah, and immersion.
Yeah.
So it has the immersion because they've done it a bunch of times, but this new one, the physics they're rough. They're rough. Like one thing people are complaining about, it's an F1 game. These cars are extremely powerful and hard to drive. You will be in the wet with traction control halfway on, full throttle, and not spin out. That is not the case.
I couldn't even do that on the simulator. I could not get out of the tutorial on that simulator that I played, like because I kept spinning tough on perfect conditions. Because well, I saw something that they marketed as like easier for like newcomers, but if your audience is that niche, like are you really like trying to bork the physics for like newcomers? Like if they're not on board yet, do you think this is going to get them on board?
Yeah, and the reason they're coming on board is because they want the challenge. People don't drive F1 2022 because it feels like an arcade racer. Like, no, you're doing it because you want to feel like you're an F1 driver. And in order to do that, you have to be very, very skilled. And this game, like, I even go on Reddit sometimes because I'm still debating on which one I should get, because I'm still driving on the simulator. I just realized that I can't drift on there anymore because it's like the whole assembly is slightly, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be like spinning the wheel all the way from full lock to full lock, banging the gears around,
clacking it back and forth.
Yeah. Like, it's a toy, so you have to be gentle. You can't really be banging it around. So I'm thinking about kind of getting away from the drifting side of it and getting more into A, rally, and B, F1. That mishap I had with Assetto Corsa Competizione, where I did an hour-long race and then it was like, you didn't pit right, disqualified. After that, I was like, I can't. I need to take a break from that game.
Yeah,
yeah. That's one of those things where it's like if I'm trying to get into a league of racing, I'm going to do that. Like maybe once I got a little bit more time on my hands and I'm doing something, like I'll get into that. But just at home trying to get good, like no, it is way too hard. Yeah, it's way too hard. The game is crazy. But the game that I was trying to think of was Sons of the Forest.
Ooh, that one is it was the most wishlist game on Steam until it came out.
Yeah, and it looks really cool. A friend of mine is playing it.
Horror survival.
Wow.
Yeah, I like looked at it. I was like, that looks like really fun.
It's basically got like a perfect score on Steam, and then in Google, it's got a 4.7. Like, that's crazy. Everybody's loving this game, and I think it's. Yeah, is it a sequel?
Yeah, it was the original one was called The Forest, and it was popular. It had like a niche following, but then like now Sons of the Forest has come out, and it's been just like I just scroll through TikTok, and it's people like just like making their like bases, and one of the things that they think is funny is like when they tell. Like they'll build like a tree house like on top of a tree, and they have an NPC, and you tell them like work on the base. And he just goes okay. He just chops down the tree that your base is on, and it all falls apart, and he gives you a thumbs up. Like, well,
yeah. It's so, like I can't even be mad at you. I guess
it's like the glitchy in a fun way, and there's another one where somebody was like, "Oh, is that guy over there? Do you think we should approach him?" And looks behind him, and another guy takes a spear and goes, "Yeah." Just like kills him from way far away.
Yeah, like I really
games that you can like you're like literally socializing on it as you play. Like it's not like so intense that it's not like Back 4 Blood where I'm like, they're over here, fuck, Devin's already dead, run.
And that's what I was telling Mai that the other day. I was like, I'm down to play these types of games again with the fellows, with other gamers, because it's such an interesting moment when you're playing video games with your friends and you're in a room, like nobody's like actually dealing with any of this, but one of you screams because you've lost your composure to a video game. Those moments, like, I don't know, those are some of my favorite moments ever gaming. Like
there's a co-op like Ghost Hunter game that I saw where like it was on TikTok, and there were these three guys in the base. They were like, wait, where'd Jimmy go? And you just hear like screaming from the inside. And they just all start laughing. They're like, "Oh no, Jimmy's still in the house! Jimmy, get out!"
Like that game Backrooms. Have you seen that? Well, I'm sure you've seen it. Yeah. At one point I saw this guy, he was trying to like, I guess his friend was like, all right, I'm gonna go check this thing out real quick. I'll be back. We don't need to get lost. You just stay here. He's like, all right, cool. And he starts walking off into the back room, into the back hallways. And then you just because like I think the mics they're set up so it's like distance, proximity mic. So you hear way off in the distance him like, and then he runs past him, and he's like, why are you? And it's just this like giant monster.
Yeah, there was another one like that where he's like, oh fuck, and he starts running inside, and he runs like he's running towards his buddy. And he's like, I'm just gonna say Jimmy again. Jimmy, run! Don't look back. What? Jimmy starts running. He's like, "What do you mean? What's chasing this? Don't look back. Why? Why not? What's chasing this?" He's like, "Oh my god, Jimmy!" Like,
I'm like ready for one of those games again. I might have to look into the Forest, Sons of the Forest, and see if it's co-op. Maybe that's one we all need to try. Maybe that's on the PC and
get fucking PC.
Well, it might be on Xbox.
I don't think so. Hold on, let me see. Sons of the Forest Xbox.
Yeah, because audience, we used to game all the time back when we were all on Xbox.
It's not currently available, although it could be in the future.
Damn. Yeah, it's probably going to be a while. Yeah, because I just turned on Steam just to kind of see like where it was available, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it looks like F1 2022 is back up to the regular price, but it definitely got down to like $18 at one point, which is crazy. All of the reviews are pretty mixed, but if you look at Sons of the Forest, where'd it go? Sorry about that. But if you look at Sons of the Forest, it's got a 9 out of 10 and it's still $30. That's pretty cheap. That's crazy.
I keep telling you, man, like those mid-tier games, the mid-price games, they're killing it lately. And it's because they're games that are like fun with friends. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's why I kind of like I fell off of Destiny 2. I fell off of No Man's Sky because I'm like, this would be great if I had friends that played it, but I don't. And like as enjoyable as they were, eventually like it's missing that like part where we all like hop on and there are moments of chill and there are moments of excitement and there are moments of stress, and then it goes back to moments of chill. That's why I kind of like the whole like I think Valheim is coming to Xbox. Have you heard of that one? That one got really popular on Steam. It's basically it was a Steam release. It was a survival game that was like Norse mythology survival. So like you like chop down trees and build your stuff, but it's also like fantasy elements, and it got like really popular because you could do it with friends, and it was kind of a sleeper, and then it blew up, and so it got really, really popular, and that one's coming to console now. So that could be one, although like Sons of the Forest looks like top tier. It looks really good. Like when you like see the gameplay, you're like, this looks well made and well designed.
Yeah. I definitely want to check it out, and especially for $30, if I don't need any add-ons or anything. And I think it's a early access type thing. So we'll see if I jump into this. Maybe I'll try it out in an episode. But we can talk about it in an episode or two. But I think I just need to get through The Last of Us first. So once I get through Last of Us, maybe I'll dive into this one. I need to get something on the PC and play it because I really haven't done that yet. I haven't played anything but racing games on the PC. So
when you get the like simulator setup right there, it's
it's hard not to
be like, let me play that other one. You know,
I guess I could just like get a few laps in real quick.
An hour later.
She's like, oh shit, bro, bullshit. I gotta go.
I just need my fix, baby. I just need to get in on that. It's
tough, man. It's tough. Like I know mine's got Animal Crossing. I've got this Sims, so I'm gonna keep that here for a little while, and then once I finish Last of Us, I think I'm gonna have to try this Forest game because I'm definitely down for some scares with the crew. So we'll see if we can figure something out. But yeah, man. Once again, like always, it's a great time chatting with you. Maybe we'll get some gaming in this week. I have no idea. I'm working.
You got a baby.
Yeah, that and work started to pick back up a little bit back in the office. So yeah, man, it's good to be kind of back hustling. So but yeah, man, whenever we do get a moment, let's definitely get some gaming in, either some Rocket League or some Last of Us or something. We'll get something in.
I don't have the Last of Us.
Huh?
I don't have
not Last of Us. Was it Fall Guys? I'm thinking what's that game
Fall
where
Guys have a really dark DLC that came out?
No, I was thinking, is it Among Us?
That one's been out for a minute. The little like
with the little
monster. And
yeah.
It's like a $5 game that blew up on social.
Yeah. It was real hot in like 2020.
There's a console version now, but like I feel like
I don't think anybody's playing it.
Yeah, everybody's like, I'm done with it.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely got all three of those games titles mixed up. So let's not do that. Let's play some Fall Guys.
The Last Guys and The Fall of Us and
The Fall of Us.
Yes.
The Fall of the Last of Us.
The Fall of the Rocket League of Last of Us.
Yeah, that sounds like a great game. Real sad and exciting game.
Also cartoony for some reason.
Yeah, full of where everybody's wearing hula skirts after they get shot in the head.
Everybody's wearing hula skirts, and then they get like an arm ripped off by somebody who's a mutant mushroom creature, zombie, whatever.
Oof, yeah, it's a good game. But all right, man. Yeah, once again, audience, thanks for joining the Dirty Riding Casuals, and we will catch you on the next time. On the next, what is it? Catch you on the flip side? Catch you next time.
I don't know, man. I got ADHD. Why are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm tired. All right. Peace.